Last time we talked about some changes to the environment. We talked about changes that can be caused by people, like construction of new buildings and pollution. And we also talked about some changes that can be caused by nature, like earthquakes, weathering, and erosion. Today we're going to talk about some other natural changes to our environment that are caused by the weather. Chapter 2, Weather Changes the... Mrs. Moore's class walks down a trail near the river. The class hears the water moving in the river below. Stop! I see a pile of leaves and tree branches on the trail. How did it get there? Says Gwen. The trail probably changed because of the weather, says Mrs. Moore. Mrs. Moore says the leaves and the branches could have been moved by the water from the river. Floods can happen when it rains. A flood is when a lot of water covers land that is usually dry. The land can't soak in the water. Rivers and streams overflow. They flow onto dry land. During a flood, water moves across the land. It picks up leaves, branches, and small rocks as it moves. Deep floods can move cars and trees and damage homes. People can get hurt. The flood ends. Anything the flood moved is left behind, such as these branches, says Mrs. Moore. Not having rain can also change the environment. A drought happens when the land gets less rain than normal. The ground dries out and cracks. Trees, grass, and other plant life die without water. Animals may not have enough water to drink, says Mrs. Moore. And we know that all living things need water in order to survive. A third way the earth changes is through windstorms, says Mrs. Moore. A tornado starts over land. Very fast wind moves in a circle. A spinning, funnel-shaped cloud moves across the land. The high winds move soil, plants, and trees. Tornadoes can destroy cars and houses. Wow, says Gwen. Tornadoes are dangerous. Yes, they are, says Mrs. Moore. A hurricane is another type of dangerous windstorm. A hurricane starts over the ocean. The storm spins around as it moves. It has high winds and rain. The storm makes huge waves. Hurricanes can come on land, says Mrs. Moore. The waves cause erosion on the beach. The water moves rocks and sand on the beach. The rain causes floods. Trees can fall down. The wind and rain can cause damage to roads, buildings, cars, and houses. People can get hurt. Mrs. Moore's class walks around the pile of leaves and branches on the trail. Weather changes the Earth's environment. It can also be dangerous for people. While we're on the trail, let's look for other ways the Earth changes, says Mrs. Moore. Pollution happens on land. Litter on the ground covers the grass and other plant life. Oh, can you stop it for a second?